Well, good morning. We are on our last day of our trip, hopefully, and about to be headed home. We are finishing up at Artist Palette, eating breakfast, getting to breakfast for our kids who are in the room, and Ashley and Adrian are getting theirs breakfast. But yeah, it has been a good, long trip, and let's get some breakfast. Have a little bit of snack before we hit the road. We're here. We just finished breakfast, and we've been talking about a couple of things about what we're doing next year, and kind of future trips and the ideas of where we can go, when we can go, that kind of thing. But I wanted to recap the cruise and get Alana's opinion, kind of how the cruise went. So overall, what do you think about the Disney Dream?
Well, it was a beautiful ship. I really did enjoy the cruise. It was nice. Um, but I really thought that I would fall in love with cruising with Disney, and I didn't. So it was kind of a weird feeling. Um, and I think it's mainly because our girls are older, and the Disney magic just is not there anymore for them. And so it thankfully we had John Hollis and Samantha, and we could watch them light up and see all the fun stuff, and that was nice. But for our family, I don't know that it's worth the premium to cruise with Disney. Now we're Disney adults and proud of it. We love all things Disney, and I loved listening to the Disney music 24 hours a day. Like, that was wonderful, and even the TVs, because we sleep with our TV on every night. When a movie stopped playing, the music automatically started playing. So we had sound in our room all night, which is wonderful for people that don't like to sleep in silence. So I really love that. But but as far as like adult activities, there just weren't very many, and
That were free.
that were free. I mean, unless you were a big drinker and you wanted to do like all the different like drink seminars and things like that, which those you needed to book ahead of time, and most of those had sold out before our trip. Um, there just wasn't much. Now there was all kinds of stuff for kids. Like, they had something going in the kids club all the time, and they had character meet and greets all the time. So they definitely have great scheduling for children. But from an adult perspective, in which our kids love the kids clubs, like Lydia spent half her time there, and Hattie did some, but Lydia is our social butterfly, and so she made friends, and she really enjoyed the kids club. But as far as there being anything for the adults to do, there just wasn't very much. And one thing I was looking forward to was the trivia, and because I love trivia, it's just, I'm usually pretty good at it and I enjoy it. But they had those either scheduled at times when there was big things happening, like cruise line exclusive things, or it was in a time, or it was in a location where it was very limited seating. And so, like, we, on our C day, which, again, there's not much activities for adults, so when they had their trivia stuff pop up, all the adults went there, and it was in the pub. So when we walked in on time, there was not a single seat to be had, and not really anywhere to stand, and they had run out of papers for you to actually write your answers down on. So we literally just walked in and walked right back out. And so the next trivia that they had scheduled, which was 30 minutes later, was in the same location. So you know that all of those people were going to stay and do the next trivia. So that was very disappointing because, I mean, yes, we should have gotten there earlier. That's on us. But I just wish that they had chosen a larger venue to accommodate more people because the adult activities are so limited. So that was my biggest like disappointment really, because that was one of the activities that I knew that we would be able to do without the kids, and it wasn't really possible. But the shows were great. The food was really good. Um, I think as a consensus, we said the food was good, but nothing we had was life changing. So we did Palo brunch, and it was nice to be up there. The food was good. Was it life changing? No. And that was a little disappointing because, there's certain items that, people really talked up prior to us getting on the boat. And it was good, but I mean, I've had better food on Disney property. I don't know. It's just a weird place to be because I guess I set the bar pretty high, and I just felt like I would fall in love with it because we like cruising. Um, this was our fourth cruise overall, Caleb and myself, and um, but I don't know. We just found ourselves like kind of looking for something to do, and we're not character meters, so the thought of standing in line for 30 minutes to meet a character, that does not appeal to us in any way.
Or an hour.
Or an hour. The one time we did wait was because it was Hattie's request. She wanted to meet Captain Jack Sparrow, and we waited an hour to meet him, which was ridiculous, but that was one of her must-dos on this trip, so we were able to do that. Now, we did have a really wonderful fireworks experience. Um, we went against the crowd flow. We did not go to the party on the top deck. We stayed on the fourth deck, and Chip and Dale actually came out and watched the fireworks with us. And it was like it was a private fireworks viewing with Chip and Dale. So that was pretty incredible.
So there were less than 10 people around.
Yeah, I mean, there was four of us, and then, and which neither of our girls were there. They were with friends or up on the deck watching the party. But yeah, there was less than 10 people around the deck during that whole thing. So we had some really great moments, and the service was wonderful, but I wouldn't say that the service was any better than the other cruise lines that we've been on. Um, our main server was wonderful, Philippa, but our assistant server, Bruno, was sometimes a little less than, he left a little more to be desired. Um, but I think he was relatively new to his role and very sweet, but we sat there with empty glasses for half the night, or we were waiting on him to bring us something that we'd asked for. So anyway, I would cruise with Disney again, but my expectations would be very different now that I know. And it would probably be, I don't know, I'd have to decide what the special occasion would need to be to pay the premium to do the Disney cruise, because we've enjoyed our Carnival and Royal Caribbean cruises just as much, if not more, in some aspects for much less. So, I don't know. I just keep saying it's just a weird place to be because I really expected to fall in love with Disney cruising, and we just didn't. So, there's a lizard on the wall back there. Ew. But having said all that, I definitely don't want to discourage people from going on a Disney cruise because it absolutely, I think the sweet spot is for parents that have kids between the ages of like 3 or 4 to like 10. I think that's the sweet spot. Our girls were obviously much older than that, but watching John Hollis enjoy it, he was at the perfect age to really get into what they had going on. So I think that that's the target. Um, but I would say if you're not a character meter, or if you like a lot, if you just like to relax all the time and not do any kind of activities, then and you're a Disney adult, then a Disney cruise is perfect for you because you can hang out in the adult areas. Um, we did do the Rainforest Dream Pass. That was very nice. Caleb, I think, enjoyed it more than I did, but it was nice to go and relax there. We did that every morning before we got our day started. Um, but I would say if you're a Disney adult and you enjoy character meet and greets, and if you like just relaxing and don't really want any like extra activities, then definitely do it. But if you are looking for something that doesn't involve alcohol, that and you need a lot of activities, then I'm not sure that the Disney cruise would be for you. So, so yeah, and we had a good time. I'm glad we did it. It was fun to travel with family. Um, that went much more smoothly than I was anticipating. We all got along great, and everybody kind of did their own thing, and it was nice. It was nice to spend some extended time with them, and I would definitely do it again sometime. But I think we all decided as a group that the next time, if we did this again, that we would do something on land. Um, Probably wouldn't be another cruise, but still love Disney. Just didn't fall in love with Disney cruising.
I will add that the Rainforest Room, 1,000% worth purchasing it. I spent the embarkation day and every day and twice on the last sea day in that.
One thing you need to consider though with the Rainforest Room is it does get busy, and on a sea day, it is super crowded. So you need to. We always went when they first opened at 8 o'clock, and we stayed for about an hour, a little over an hour in the mornings, and we had no trouble getting loungers or um, using the showers or the saunas or anything or the hot tub. But when Caleb went back the second time on the sea day, it was very crowded. So that's something. First thing in the morning or last thing at night is the best time to go.
Okay.
I opened it.
Okay.
They asked if we need anything. I said no.
Because it's 9 o'clock, we're gonna check out here in a minute.
Yeah, that's what he was saying. I thought it was a vacation or waiting to get the room. But,
No, it's just housekeeping. They want to clean the room. We're still in it, so
we need to leave.
We don't have to wait till 11.
yeah, we're good. But on the last day, when I went in with just me, all of the loungers were occupied. There were multiple people in each of the hot tubs. And then for each one of the steam rooms and saunas, there was someone in them, or at least one or two people every time you went in those. So the Rainforest Room is great if you
If you get
like,
there early or you go late.
yeah, if you get there early, or like, talking to people while you're both in a hot room sweating. Those are the times. But I loved it. It was great. It's nice to meet new people, even if you are both, sweating at the same time. We're about to check out of Saratoga, finishing up here. I do not like this resort. I've given it 2 tries. This is my second time staying at Saratoga Springs. I do not like it. It is
Rooms?
far away from everything.
So, the rooms are wonderful. Like you,
The rooms are big. I'll give
they're-
it that.
They're great size, and the grounds are beautiful. Like it's off a golf course, so it's very.
It's on a
nice.
golf course, and if I got a chance to play golf while I was here, I might enjoy staying here. But it is
But-
far away from everything.
But of all the resorts we've stayed in, I feel like this one is the hardest one to navigate. I mean, we've stayed at large resorts, but
We've stayed at Caribbean Beach and Coronado, which are 2 of the largest resorts on property.
But this one is just
This is not easily navigable by foot.
yeah. Thankfully, we do have our car, so we were able to go get breakfast this morning. But yeah, and we did walk. Our room was very close to Disney Springs, so we were able to walk to and from there last night. But we stayed in 3 resorts this time. On the front end, we stayed at Coronado Springs. That was our second time to stay there. Caleb said that it kind of redeemed itself in a way because instead of staying in the tower this time, we stayed in one of the villages.
Casitas.
We were in the casitas, and we were right off from the main pool area, which is exactly where I wanted to be. The food there was wonderful at the pool bar. The pool area is very nice.
Lydia did say last night, and when we were at the pool here, she said that she enjoyed the pool at Coronado much more than the pool here. Even though this pool is a 0 entry, or at least the paddock pool that we went to, because the main pool is about 2 miles in that way.
We enjoyed Coronado. I enjoyed Coronado both times that we stayed there, but Caleb said it kind of redeemed itself this time.
The check-in process at Coronado still stinks because it's still a convention hotel, and you're still going to have
It is
people
super crowded.
everywhere.
But then we did Bay Lake, and Bay Lake, we went into that stay knowing that it was going to be a small room. Bay Lake. We loved the convenience of this resort. It was so nice to be literally within walking distance of Magic Kingdom, which was the only park we did this trip. And we loved being on the monorail loop. That was very nice. As far as the room itself, it is the smallest room that we've ever stayed in on Disney property, with the exception of the Tower.
Riviera Tower Suite,
The Tower Studios in the Riviera, which, I mean, they're marketed, they're only for 2 people. So, I mean, they're incredibly small going in. But Bay Lake, and we got a refurbished room, so it was nice to see all the new updated artwork and the new Murphy bed that they put in. We slept comfortably, like we didn't have any trouble sleeping, but it smelled funny in our room. The water, particularly the hotter the water got, the more it smelled. It had more of that sulfur smell, which
It smelled like poop.
Well,
It did.
it was. I've always heard people talk about Florida water and that they don't want to drink it because it doesn't taste good, and I've never really experienced that until this trip, because I always will refill water bottles, and we do tap water in the parks because it's free, and I've never noticed it. But when we were at Bay Lake, it was very noticeable, and I couldn't drink it, and it was bad.
Taking a shower was interesting.
And so when you took a shower, you smelt it too.
And so then, and in my mind at least, like you end up smelling like that. And so I may have used more deodorant and cologne when we were at Bay Lake.
I did like, which we were only there for 2 nights. I did like the little kitchen area. Like that was, if we'd been staying there for for a full week, that would have been perfect, because there's like a little pantry and plenty of places to spread out to if you were going to be doing a lot of in-room eating. So I did like that. We did have a balcony, and it was very nice, but of course, we didn't get the side of the resort that we wanted, but we booked a lake view room, and so we did indeed get a lake view, and it was nice, and we could watch the electric water pageant at night. But we wanted to be on the other side, so we could have gotten a fireworks view too, but that would have been additional if we had booked a theme park view. But so I really had no complaints. We were just off the elevator, so that was super nice. It was convenient. The first night we were there, we actually watched the fireworks from the pedestrian bridge that connects with the main Contemporary, and that was nice. We watched the fireworks from there, so that was a unique perspective. We did not like, you talk about the check-in process. This was the latest we have ever gotten into a room. We did not get into our room until almost 4:30. Now, check-in for DVC Resorts does not start technically until 4 o'clock, but we have always gotten in rooms relatively early. Coronado being the only other one that we haven't. But even then, we were in the room by 4 o'clock. Well, for Coronado, the check-in is 3 o'clock, so it was beyond that. But you could tell that particular stay there was a lot of people there.
There's a big convention going on at that stay.
And that was not this time, but when we stayed there 3 years ago. But for this year, Bay Lake didn't seem to be all that busy, and so it was a little frustrating because we had been to the water park that day, and
We were all in bathing
we were in
suits.
bathing suits, and we were all just ready to get changed into some dry clothes. And so, yeah, not to get into your room till 4:30, that was a little bit frustrating. But it was fun.
And they tried to be a thief.
Yes, and so then the only really negative thing that happened on this whole trip that was very off-putting. We normally don't use bell services. We have a time or two, but mainly we usually always have a car, and so we just leave our stuff in the car till our room is ready. And the times that we've flown down here, it's been no trouble to check our bags and then have them deliver them to the room when we get when our room is ready. But anyway, we did that this time because we were at Bay Lake. We were trying to get our stuff in to make that process a little easier because, parking at the Contemporary is not, it's not always close, and our car was not very close. So we didn't want to have to go back and forth to the car. So anyway, we checked our stuff with Bell Services. Well, the girls and I brought our blankets inside and our pillows, and when you have a lot of loose things like that, they'll put all of your stuff on one of those big luggage carts. So we had a whole luggage cart full of our stuff, and I knew that I had left my pillow and blanket there because I specifically remember taking it off the chair and putting it on the cart because I told the girls to make sure theirs was full that they could put on there as well. So anyway, when our stuff was delivered to our room, everything was there except for my blanket. And we looked the place over. I thought maybe it got put into a bag or something. No, it wasn't there. And then
I went to the car to look.
he
It was
went
not
to check it
there.
out. Well, in the meantime, we have called Bell Services and we've
Twice.
asked them. No, you just called the one time before you went down there. Asked, hey, is this blanket down there? And he described it. Oh, no, there's not a blanket down here. Sorry. And Caleb said, well, we might have left it in our car, so I'll go check. So he goes, checks the car, comes back. He stops by the Bell Services desk and again talks to somebody, and they're like, yeah, no, we don't have that. It's not down here. And so I think you escalated it to the manager.
I went up to a manager and look, I know that there's a blanket here. It is somewhere. It is not in our room. It is not in the car. And your folks are the only other people that have had it. And so she went back in the back. She's like, can you describe it? I said, it's gray and red, and it's got writing on it.
Classic Mickey.
I didn't remember what the blanket looked like. I was trying to find a picture, trying to text her what it to describe it. Anyway, she brought a picture back out and showed me. She said, is this it? I said, that's it.
So it was back there the whole time. They were just too lazy to go look for it. So that was very frustrating. And Caleb said, never again. We're never using Bell Services again. So,
Or staying at Bay Lake for that matter. So that's two resorts, at least for me, that I've completely crossed off that I'm not interested in staying at, being Bay Lake and Saratoga. For different reasons completely. But I think justifiable enough.
I would stay at Bay Lake again if we were doing another Magic Kingdom centered trip.
Yeah.
Because even though the room was small and even though the Bell Services experience was not great, that was a one-off. Every other time we've used them, it's not been a problem at all.
I mean, and it was close. It was very close.
It was so nice because we walked right into Magic Kingdom for rope drop, and it was nice. And so from that, and I think once they get done with construction, maybe some of the smells will go away. I think that was part of it, is they were still working on some things. So once they get that done, and that'll be done by the end of the year, I would go back. I wouldn't write it off. because I do love the Contemporary. I love the look and the feel. It's not my favorite place anymore on property, but I do enjoy it.
Riviera.
But I do like the Contemporary side much better than the Bay Lake side.
I
So,
think that the next resort, at least for us, on our next trip, is going to need to be an Epcot resort. It's been a while since we've stayed over there in the Epcot area, so I think we need to stay in an Epcot resort.
we'll see.
Well, I guess that's all for today.
Oh, the one other thing
Oh,
we
yeah.
can talk about is the Disney water parks. So, I guess at this point we've talked enough. This will probably be its own vlog
Yeah, I guess
about
so.
just a recap of the trip. But we learned that we are not a water park family. We did Typhoon Lagoon on the front end of the trip.
Which I may or may not have some video for. Turns out if you leave your GoPro, even your waterproof GoPro submerged in the lazy river for long enough, it will get water in it. So we'll see if that's salvageable.
But Disney, them offering the free water park option on check-in day, that has significantly picked up their water park traffic. And with them only having one open when we went, both are open now at this point, the next weekend. But with only one water park being open, it was so crowded. We did not rope drop. That is on us. We probably should have gotten around earlier and been at the water park at 10 o'clock instead of at 11 o'clock. Which the chair situation, we knew that was going to be hard to find a good chair with some shade because everybody's seeking out shade. But we found 4 chairs. That part worked out fine. But for us, like the Lazy River, you couldn't be lazy.
It wasn't lazy. It was work. You had to
Because
fight people.
It was so crowded,
It's like Fight Club.
and like
Which one talking
there
about?
were so few floats that it was like dog eat dog trying to just get a float to be in the water. And Kale didn't even get one. We got one for the girls, and then I got one, and he said, "I'm tired of trying to get one." So he just
Well,
kind of
because every time I turned around, it would be, if I got a float, well, here's this lady with a kid, or
he is just very
this-
nice, and and I
But it's-
I
I mean,
admire
I'm just-
that. But anyway, that just
everybody else needed one more than me, and I'm okay with that. But yeah, there should have been enough for everybody, but there weren't.
well, I mean, it was because there were so many people.
Yeah.
But then we did the family raft ride, and that Caleb was not a fan of that.
So me being the biggest person in the raft, which we should have split up more than we did, because it was all 4 of us, and the girls are big enough now where they're pretty much about adult size, and but it's trying to get all 4 of us in the raft, and with me being the biggest person by far, gravity likes me the most, and so I was the first one that kind of went backwards, and it was going backwards the whole way. Couldn't see where I was going, and
He was not a fan.
it just, anyway, didn't like it.
So, and so at that point, I knew that riding any other ride like that, that was not going to be for him. And so we got into the wave pool because Lydia really wanted to do that, and I think she could have stayed in it for the rest of the day, but the rest of us were
Done. And so many people were in the wave pool. Like, there were just, it was crazy.
So we could have done the water park yesterday when we got in from the cruise, and both Typhoon and Blizzard Beach are open again. So we could have gone to Blizzard Beach to see if the experience was any different, but I imagine with it being Memorial Day weekend, it probably was going to be just as crowded. So
And that's a,
we decided that one day at the water park was enough.
yeah.
So I'm glad, though, that we utilized the free park admission, because I would have been annoyed if I had paid full price to do what we did, because we were just there for 3 hours, 4 hours at the most, and we did not.
Because Disney engineered these places to where it is hard to find a way out, and it's kind of, it will send you in circles intentionally, and that's the way that it's designed. And it's like little, nooks and crannies where you can kind of get, and it's hard to, get out of there and leave efficiently. But
But anyway,
it was a good experience.
we've
I
talked
think.
about adding a water park day to trips in the past,
Not no more.
and now that we've done it, that won't be something that we plan in the future. But yeah, overall, it was a great trip. I think we enjoyed the Disney parks, the Disney resort parts of the stay more than we enjoyed the
I
cruise.
enjoyed Coronado and Magic Kingdom Day probably the most of any. We didn't go to Epcot this time. Epcot is my preferred park. If I'm going to be somewhere, that's where I want to be. We didn't go there this time, so hopefully we'll go there next time. Go to a festival. But the Magic Kingdom Day, probably my favorite day this trip. We had a really, really good day. Us and the girls we got to ride almost all the rides that we did. Elena did the Lightning Lane thing, and we were able to stack at the end of the night and ride several.
Just like every other time that we've used it, we could have utilized it so much more and gotten even more bang for our buck, but we were tired and ready to go back to the room. So we did everything we wanted to do and could have, and more, really. So, yeah, it was a great trip. I don't know when the next one will be, but we enjoyed it this time.
Hey everybody, this is Caleb from the Rowan Ramies. I really hope that you enjoy our videos from this trip. We went to Magic Kingdom on a Disney cruise and stayed at the Disney Resort coming back. We'll see you next time.